options, some versatility. And I figured, using this new camera, let's try, and I'm going to go over my PS4 game collection, because I figured at this point I'm probably not going to be buying any new PS4 games. This is probably it. I have a gaming PC now, and eventually I'm going to buy a PS5, so this is probably it. There's maybe one or two games I'm going to buy, but I'll probably end up buying them digitally if I do get them, so I wouldn't have anything to show regardless. And pre-warning, I do have a lot of sports games, because I mainly, towards the end, after I got my PC, was using my console just for sports games, and then everything else I would play on PC. And I have these in alphabetical order, so let's get into it with the very first game I have alphabetically, which is Batman Arkham Knight. And then here's the back. Not my favorite of the Rocksteady Batman games. Obviously Arkham City is a classic, but a lot of people consider it one of the best games ever made. I don't know if I go that far, but I really like that game, and Arkham Asylum as well. Those games are, a ton of fun. But actually, that's the only Arkham game that I have not completed all the way through. However, I am really looking forward to the new one that's coming out. It's going to have co-op and all those other things. On to the next game, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. And this is the Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition. This was a lot of fun as well. And here's the back. Sorry, I forgot to do that. This is a lot of fun as far as online shooters go. It was a big improvement over the first Battlefront game that DICE put out. Yeah, there's a really fun class system, and getting the points to unlock the heroes and to be able to be a Jedi or a Sith was always a lot of fun, and you can turn the tide of battle. Next up, one of my favorite video game series and video game franchises ever, Dynasty Warriors. This is Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. I love the Dynasty Warriors games based off of the Three Kingdoms book series, which I know I have it right over there because I just showed it on webcam the other day, but I can't spot it on my bookshelf, right away. But I love I love those books, and I love the Dynasty Warriors video games, and just the wuxia type action and just the insanity of the games. They're so much fun. Okay, next game is Fallout 4. I played a ton of Fallout 4 at launch. I have the Game of the Year edition on Steam now, so I really have no reason to play my PS4 copy of the game anymore. But when that first came out, when Fallout 4 was new, I probably put like 100 hours into that game, and most of that was just settlement building. Let's be realistic. Far Cry 4 Limited Edition. And here's the back. Probably my least favorite Far Cry game of the ones that released on the PS4 generation, out of 3, 4, 5, Blood Dragon. I really didn't like Far Cry 4. The setting was kind of so-so for me. The characters I never really connected to or related to, so Far Cry 4 kind of but my favorite Far Cry game for the PS4 generation is Far Cry 5. I loved the stories, the storyline, the characters in the game, and I'm a big fan of the TV show True Detective, particularly season 1 with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and I just love that whole creepy, cultish, pastor vibe that show and Far Cry 5 give off. I love the religious cult angle and that whole, the southern United States type aesthetic. I really liked Far Cry 5. Alright, and then here we have FIFA 16, probably my most played FIFA game. This is when I was like really starting to get into soccer. It was in 2016, and I put just tons of time into that game. Career mode, both as a player and a manager. I'm pretty sure I retired. I worked all the way up to retirement in both, but don't quote me on that. Then that same vein, we have FIFA 19 with a custom Diego Valeri cover that I printed out and put on there. Yeah, because I'm a Portland Timbers fan, so I saw that cover posted on Reddit, and I'm like, well, I have to put that in my game. Moving on from FIFA, we have Final Fantasy 15, and this is the Day 1 edition of Final Fantasy 15. Not the most beloved Final Fantasy game, it must be said. Kind of a departure from, the way that the series is traditionally done, and I thought it was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I probably put 30-ish hours into the game, and I had an okay time playing it, but I definitely dropped it before finishing the game. Next up, we have Friday the 13th, the game. I never really got into this. I'm just not a big fan of that style of game like that, and then also Dead by Daylight, where it's multiple people cooperating together to fight like a big bad enemy, because in my experience, trying to cooperate with people over the internet that you don't know is a fool's errand. Probably my favorite game on PS4, God of War. I love this game. My family is descended from Norway. I'm like 60-ish% Norwegian. So seeing like the Scandinavian influence in this game and the imagery and the Norse gods in this game, I always love that. I have a big affinity for Nordic imagery, and I really want to visit Norway someday and visit Skien, which is the village that my family comes from. I played through this game like 100% and beat it, I think 3 or 4 times. I think I beat it 3 times, and then I'm in the middle of my 4th playthrough right now, but yeah, I just love God of War. Fantastic game. Next up, I have the Heavy Rain collection, which has Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. I haven't played Beyond Two Souls yet, but I got a little bit into Heavy Rain, but the control scheme and everything was a little dated, and I had a hard time getting into it, so I dropped it after probably 3 or 4 hours or so. This is a game I need to revisit because everybody loves this game, but I had a hard time getting into it, so I feel like I need to give it a second chance. And that's Horizon Zero Dawn. This is the complete edition. And yeah, like I wasn't a big fan when I played it, but everybody has it listed as like one of the best games in the PS4 generation, so I feel like I need to go back and give it another try. Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it or something at the time. And then here we have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix. I love the Kingdom Hearts games. I love the crossovers with Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy, one of my favorite, video game franchises, and then Kingdom Hearts brings in Disney. I'm a huge Disney nerd. I collect Disney memorabilia. I go to Disneyland every single year. So like a meeting of both those worlds, and I love Kingdom Hearts. And on that same vein, here is Kingdom Hearts 3. I have not beaten this game yet. I actually just picked it up a couple weeks ago, so I'm still in the middle of playing through it. But yeah, I'm not liking it as much as 1 and 2, it must be said, and a lot of people have echoed that sentiment, because Kingdom Hearts 2 is genuinely one of my favorite video games of all time, but I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to meet that hurdle. Madden 17 may be the last good Madden game. Either that or 25, I'm not sure which one came out more recently between the two, but yeah, Madden 17 this big thing and like start a sports betting platform around our Madden league, but that's the reason I own that game. I would not have purchased it otherwise. Oops, and I grabbed Madden 20 again. And then we have Mass Effect Andromeda. This is the deluxe edition. Really a disappointment for the Mass Effect franchise. I know especially at launch it was pretty rough. I think they started to fix a lot of the issues later on by the time I had purchased the game, and it was okay, but compared to Mass Effect 1 and 2, it just wasn't very good. And Mass Effect 2 is legitimately, an amazing video game, and I think that they think they better remaster of it, and I might pick that up. Okay, moving on. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I love this game. I am a huge Naruto fan. I have a bunch of the manga on my shelf behind me. I love Naruto, and the games are like such an amazing way to experience the story, and they did a really good job of capturing the feel of the anime type fights, in my opinion, in those games. And I think that same company also does the One Piece games. And now I've never read or watched One Piece, but I kind of wanted to get into it. So I've been considering just buying one of the One Piece games and using that as my introduction to the series, but we'll look. Okay, now we're getting into my 2K collection. So here is NBA 2K14, which a lot of people say is one of the best 2K games ever. I do like it a lot. The graphics still kind of hold up even compared to current games, because they started to get a little more cartoonish after 14, whereas 14 kind of went for more realism type graphics. And then we jump up to NBA 2K18. I got the Legend Edition Gold with Shaq on the cover. One of the worst 2K games in a lot of people's opinion. A lot of people dislike 2K18. Blowing by people and dunking is really simple in this game. It takes like no skill to score. 2K19, the 20th anniversary edition, LeBron James cover, the GOAT edition. I think this was also called, maybe. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, I got this like Black Friday GameStop for like $5, and I got this like edition of it for that price. It was absurd. Alright, and then we move on to NBA 2K20 with AD on the cover. I know a lot of people disliked 2K20. I ended up also getting it on PC and modding the hell out of it, and it was my first 2K on PC that I was able to mod, so I personally enjoyed 2K20, but I didn't really play it on the console too much. And then here we got NBA 2K21. Now I wasn't gonna get this one, but it has my guy Dame on the cover. He's a Blazers fan. I had to get it, but I waited and I got it for like $5 or $6 after 22 had already released. And then we move from 2K to NHL. This is my big sports section. Then we have right here NHL 18 with Connor McDavid on the cover. This was my first NHL video game, and I think that there's been decent changes from 18 on up, and I have every single one since then. So here's 19. I think actually 18 and 19 there wasn't a huge jump, unless this is the one that they added the improved skating physics, but it might have been 20 that included the improved physics, because here is NHL 20, and this is the one that introduced like the signature shots and signature motions and things like that, which kind of gave the players more flair instead of all just kind of feeling like the same player. And then here is finally NHL 21, which has the best Be a Pro mode of any of the NHL games. And as somebody who does not play sports games online, I play career mode and I play like league or franchise. That's all I play. And as somebody who enjoys those single player modes, I personally think that NHL 21 is the best when it comes to the single player modes of the games. And one of the reasons I always pick up 2K is that 2K, in my opinion, is the best franchise mode of any of the major sports titles. Alright, moving on, we have a short reprieve from the sports titles with Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of hours into this game. I loved this game. I played the hell out of this when it came out. And then, you know, spoiler alert, if you haven't beat Red Dead Redemption, spoiler alert. When you die and you take over control of John Marston, I don't really like John Marston, so I reloaded an old save and just played in that chapter before you die for like 30 hours. I never left that chapter of the game. I just kept playing in there and doing my thing. Alright, and then we have MLB The Show 18 with Aaron Judge on the cover. I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but I love the career mode in the show, and I think it's one of the most in-depth career modes in any sports game. I love, you know, getting traded, moving up through the minors, all that. Also, it's so satisfying batting in the show. I don't like pitching. I don't play a pitcher. I play a first baseman, power hitter, and just hitting home runs in this game is so satisfying. And then I picked up The Show 20 because this is the one that allowed you to add custom teams to the franchise mode. So I made a team, the Portland Pioneers, because I've always wanted an MLB team in Portland, and that's the main reason I picked that one up. I brought Shohei Ohtani and just made a killer squad. Here is my second favorite PS4 game, and that is Marvel's Spider-Man. I absolutely love this game. If you saw my superhero ranking video, you know that I love Spider-Man. He's my second favorite superhero of all time. Maybe even starting to edge up into first. I don't know. Nightwing, there isn't a ton of Nightwing stuff. There's a ton of Spider-Man stuff. I haven't picked up Miles Morales yet, and I'm super excited for Spider-Man 2, but I still need to pick up Miles Morales, but I kind of want to grab it on PS5. Also, I am going to be buying a suit of the Insomniac suit with the white spider on the chest. I want to buy one of those to wear to Comic-Con. And then, of course, everybody's got this game on one platform or another, and that is Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls V. This is the special edition with all the DLCs. I got this on 360. I got this on Steam. I got it on PS4. Everybody owns Skyrim on at least 2 platforms at this point. I mean, what is there to say? You know, Skyrim, probably one of the best games ever made. Iconic. They're gonna keep releasing it. It's out on PS5, I think. They're obviously gonna put it on the PlayStation 6. Yeah, Skyrim is immortal. It's a game that's never gonna die. Moving on to the South Park, The Fractured But Whole. I actually really liked this game. As far as an RPG goes, it was a really fun game, and the combat system was fun and intuitive, and you know, you had to pick your parties, you know, intelligently based on the encounters you were doing. I had a lot of fun with that game. I did complete it. I didn't complete the Stick of Truth. The Stick of Truth is a little too simple for me, but that game like built off of the foundation of Stick and Truth in a really good way, and I really enjoyed it. Now for probably one of my favorite online shooter FPS experiences in a long time. You know, I'm not big into the genre, so I don't have a ton of experience, but Titanfall 2. I love giant mechs. You know, I love Gundam. Gundam is one of my favorite anime series franchises ever. So if I see big robot in action and I can be a big robot, I'm gonna do it. And then you can be the robot, you can call in your Titan and battle other Titans, and then you also, you know, have running around gunplay. Titanfall 2, a ton of fun. I think it's still kind of semi-active on PC, so I was kind of considering picking it up again, but yeah, Titanfall 2, a lot of fun, great game. Here we have EA Sports UF motorcycle, but really fun game. EA Sports UFC. As a combat sports fan, I'm mainly a boxing fan, but I do like UFC a little bit. I had a really good time in that game. And then, I'm not really big on this game. UFC 3 has, I installed this, I played a little bit, I beat the career mode, but then I literally went back and when I wanted to play UFC, because every so often I get the itching to want to play it, I'll go back and install UFC, the first one, instead of 3. Next up, we have Until Dawn. I love this game. Until Dawn. The gameplay loops in this game, the atmosphere, the storyline, it's amazing. I've played through this game probably 3 or 4 times. I absolutely love it. And you have Rami Malek in here. Like, just, what are you doing here, Rami Malek? You're like a big time actor, but yeah, fantastic game. If you own a PS4 and you have never played Until Dawn, please pick it up and give it a shot. You're not going to regret it. And finally, this is such a weird game to end on, but I picked this up because I had a gaming channel with my friends a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Well, not 4 or 5, 3 years ago, because this is from 2018. And I picked this up because you could do custom like storylines and stuff. WWE 2K18. So for that gaming channel I had with me and my friends, I made all of us in WWE, and like we would do videos where we would all play as ourselves, like fight each other, and there was the mic moments and storylines and all that. But yeah, that is my PS4 game collection. Like I said, I don't have a ton of games, but that's what I've got, and I'm probably gonna get Ghost of Tsushima because I haven't owned that yet, but I'm probably gonna buy it digitally, and if it gets around Black Friday and there still isn't a supply of PS5s, I think I'm just gonna pick up Miles Morales.